Local school districts are formulating plans for a possible January return to in-person learning, at least for elementary students. Districts are responding to the governor's guidance, which allows elementary schools to return to in-person learning January 18th. It's a major shift in state guidelines local districts have been basing learning model decisions on, in part or Hennepin County case rates, which currently show about 106 cases of COVID-19 per 10,000 people in the county. At more than 50 cases, state health officials previously recommended all distance learning. Anoka-Hennepin schools, the state's largest district, indicated that kindergarten through second grade students would return to in-person learning on January 18th. Wayzata School sent a letter to families saying it could start to bring back its youngest learners the following day, but nothing is finalized yet. Meanwhile, the Anoka-Hennepin School District has a new partnership to combat rising cases of substance abuse and mental health issues among students. Pafua Yang has that story.
For months, students have been living at a distance and steering clear of crowds to avoid catching COVID-19.
We've seen a great need for early intervention.
But the sudden shift in behavior seems to be causing another crisis.
We know that substance use is on the rise. And I think for those of us that work in the field, I think we need to prepare ourselves.
Colleen O'Neill, the chemical health prevention specialist at Anoka-Hennepin schools, says the rise of substance abuse is often associated with anxiety, loneliness, and other types of mental health issues.
I think when we get back to what we know to be normal, I think we're going to see an increase in the number of students that find themselves addicted to some sort of substance that they normally may not have.
As a safety net, the school district recently partnered with the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, which has 17 locations, including Plymouth and Maple Grove.
We can meet with students individually, having that licensed professional clinical counselor being able to be with them to talk about their substance use.
Cindy Doth with Hazelden says roughly 47% of students nationwide are experiencing major depression.
Oftentimes, some of the initial signs might be the change in grades, change in attendance within the school setting. Parents might also identify different eating patterns.
Doth clarifies that while Hazelden has a treatment facility, they aren't at the schools to treat students. Instead, they're really there to offer support and resources.
In order for our students to be as successful as they can be, we need to make sure that we have things in place to support them in all areas.
Pafua Yang, CCX News.
Here's an update to a story we first told you about back in the spring. One Brooklyn Park teacher got the idea to offer art kits for students to take home during the pandemic. Pafua Yang explains how those art kits are now bringing joy to another group of people.
Every week, Birch Grove Elementary third grade student Ellie Schutte takes a peek inside this brightly painted old newspaper stand.
Because there's almost twice a week there's new stuff and it's fun to do.
But it's not news Ellie is so thrilled about.
And then you make half of a circle.
It's free art supplies.
I picked this one to draw.
The newspaper stand was repurposed this past summer to supply art for students.
What I was noticing is that when I was online with a lot of my students, they didn't have equal access to art supplies that they would normally have when they come to school.
Corey Brown got help from the Birch Grove Parent-Teacher Organization and an online fundraiser to supply the art packs.
Over the summer, we ended up handing out over 1,800 art packs. So I would say it was hugely successful.
Each week, Brown refills the art exchange boxes with supplies. Families can find one art exchange box permanently at Birch Grove Elementary, while the other art box travels throughout the Osseo School District. In the past, students have learned how to get creative. But this month, students will discover the true power of art.
The Birch Grove PTO and myself wanted to do a December or winter service project, giving back to our community. And what came of that was this program we created called Sending Smiles to Seniors.
The pandemic has caused separation struggles among seniors, so the hope is that these hand-drawn cards will make a huge impact.
They might not know the people who are receiving these postcards, but they're bringing joy to them.
You can mail to to other people.
And it's bringing others joy that Ellie says is the most rewarding part about art.
It makes me feel happy too.
In Brooklyn Park, Pafuyang, CCX News.
The Hopkins Center for the Arts is one of the few local galleries showcasing art while entertainment venues are shut down. In Weekend Showcase, Neil Persley explains how you can see the most recent show.
There are new exhibits up at the Hopkins Center for the Arts.
We have 15 paintings by Ken Herrin on display. His show is called Soul Patch.
The wide sidewalks and large windows in front of the Hopkins Center for the Arts offer a great way to see the exhibit.
We are not currently open to the public, but they can view the full show through a video presentation on our website. And then additionally, there is a still image gallery with the information on each piece.
Big, bold, and colorful.
The concept that drives his work is the idea of social media curation of our identity.
There's an exterior veneer partially scraped away, revealing layers beneath.
I really enjoy the works for their rich hue, their rich color. He describes it as riotous, and I couldn't describe it better.
Herrin uses an unusual material to enhance his works.
And it also has terrific texture, which comes from, he adds pumice, a volcanic rock, to his paint, and it gives it a really wonderful surface.
Just the sort of thing to brighten a chilly winter's day. For Weekend Showcase in Hopkins, Neil Persley, CCX News.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.